Hey, Nelson County Schools. I hope you are enjoying the cooler weather today. It looks like summer is officially gone. But anyways, this is not a meteorologist report. I know that you guys are going to be watching this episode of our Inspired Learning Digital Monthly Meetup, so you can learn a little bit more about digital choice boards. And so that is what we are going to be talking about. Also, as people jump in, if you are watching live, you can join in on the chat. In order to see the chat there, you will have to make sure that you have a YouTube account. Super simple. You just click on your little Google icon that has either your initial or a picture that you've chosen, and then click My Channel. And then it'll say your first name and last name, and then click create. And then you'll see the little chat on the side. So that is how you can ask questions, anything like that. If you're watching this recorded, then you are more than welcome to reach out to someone in your building about digital choice boards, or also to me about digital choice boards. So there are a couple of goals in this session, not only learning what digital choice boards are, but how you can use them, why you should use them. I'm going to give you some resources as well. And then also we will work on creating one together. And so that is the goal for this video. If you do need PD credit for watching this, there will be a sign in on the resource that I'm going to lead you to here in just a second. And then also you will have a form that you need to fill out just with some basic implementation resources. So I guess let's go ahead and get started talking about digital choice boards. So I will tell you, digital choice boards are also called digital learning menus. So they're just interchangeable and just depend on what I guess format you use. So I usually call them choice boards. However, there's a buzzword out there of learning menus as well. And so let's go ahead and let me share my screen so you guys can see what's going on my screen. All right. So first of all, this is just what we're going to be talking about today. And you will also, how do you get to this? You will open up a new tab in Chrome. You'll go to the backpack, which is now the icon for our instructional technology site. So go ahead and click on the backpack again, and then you will go to the menu up here and click the down arrow on Innovate and Grow, click Inspired Learning, and then scroll down until you see October. You'll see, if you're looking for this, you'll see where it's recorded, but you'll also see where it says link to presentation. And that is where this comes in. So that is where you will find this. You'll see where it says sign in. The form, if you need PD, will also be on this exact same site. I need to get it on there because I know there are some people watching these for professional development hours. So starting with the very basic, what are digital learning menus? It's basically a way that you give students choice, and you give them choice of how they would like to learn, what ways they would like to learn, and it's really nice because you get to differentiate that their learning styles. They may all be working on fractions, but maybe one's creating fractions with tangible items, and maybe one's drawing fractions, maybe one's using a website, maybe one is creating a story about fractions or problems about fractions. So you give them different ways to learn. So before the technology craze, we just had choice boards. So when you go to search these, or if you're looking for templates or examples or anything like that, please just be careful. It's always good to give kids choices, and I'm not saying anything bad about paper choice boards. But if we are a district that is moving towards digital innovative learning, then we want to make sure that we give them digital opportunities as well. And so, a little later, I'll show you how to put links and things on your choice boards. So why do we use digital learning menus? You can see I listed 5 ways here. Access and exploration, allowing the kids to take ownership of their own learning and the product that comes out of their learning, and whatever box they've chosen or whatever they've chosen from the digital choice board. It's a one-stop shop, and that's why I put home. It's a one-stop shop for just different, if it is a unit, it could be a one-stop shop. I've already discussed the differentiation. You can between learning styles, between interests, lots of different ways to differentiate when using a digital choice board. It is paperless, which is also nice. You can share those out through Google Classroom once you create them, and then the kids can record if they need to take notes or record on anything. They can do that digitally as well. And then also for educator purposes, it's also nice that you have everybody's work in one area. So it provides efficiency for feeding, for feedback and grading easier. So before we jump into how do I create, we're going to go ahead and look at some resources that I've actually linked here. And these are resources that you all are more than welcome to check out. And so if you click on Shake Up Learning menus, it will take you to Shake Up Learning, which to a Pinterest page of Shake Up Learning. Shake Up Learning is a great website to follow for all things digital and all things Google. But she does have a Pinterest board of all different types of choice boards or / learning menus. Some of them are digital and some of them are not. So I just kind of wanted to caution you on that. Not, like I said, not saying that paper ones are not as effective, but we want us to, like, as we start innovating instruction, we want to move towards the digital route. And a lot of these different things you could move and create in a digital way. So you can see, like I said, a lot of different examples for you guys. If it leads you to a teacher pay teachers, I always say, I always try to look close enough and create my own. I may use their ideas, but I'll create my own on Google Doc or whatever, but I normally will not pay for anything. I'm just going to be straight up honest. So the difference between obviously a paper one and a digital choice board is that a paper one, everything can be like the directions are on here, but there's nothing to like interact with or click on. So I can see the difference between this one and this one. I can see links here because they're highlighted in blue. This one has QR codes, which means that the kids would have to use technology in order to get to a website or to something that an interactive worksheet that you have them filling out, so forth. So, but anyways, great board for you all to see. This is interesting. Sorry, I get distracted, but anyways, so great just resource for for learning menus that if you're a little scared to create your own, you can also check out others. The next one is a tic-tac-toe template. So that is one way that a choice board looks. And as soon as this pops up, there we go. You will just, if you want to use this template, you'll just click use template, and then you'll be able to type yours in. And the colors, you'll notice that that this one actually has directions, and you can change the directions once you click use template because it makes a copy and makes it yours. So the colors, I would see that the kids had to create or had to do 4. And so, you know, it says start with the number 5 and then make 2 other choices to make your 2 tic-tac-toe. So maybe they just use the color for prettiness. I don't know. But you could always change all of that once it becomes editable, once you click use template. So that is the tic-tac-toe version. Also, the menu. This actually, when you click on the menu template link, it takes you to a slide deck that I did not create. As you can see, I left credit on here for the gentleman that did create this. But it's pretty neat. So here's like the menu. It looks like his kids were doing book trailer ideas, and so they had to you use different tools, and you can click on these. It is interactive, and then click back to menu. So they had to use kind of go through the different courses. And you can see he put his rubric on here. I like this a lot, honestly, because the kids, you know, are also still creating. They're just not doing a book report. Like nowhere on here does it say about a book report. So just, you know, keep that in mind as you're looking through all of these. So this is what the menu looks like, or a menu looks like. And once again, you can use this exact same thing. You just click use template and you can make it your own and share it out through Google Classroom. So that's a learning menu template. I found this one I really liked, a fiction book review. So once again, has some really cool tools in here, such as Google Forms, Padlet, Seesaw, Taggle, which is a word art type of thing, a vocabulary. And you'll notice this one doesn't have all the links, but if you read through, like the kids are still using Google Docs and Google Classroom. And so, you know, just as long as they're doing more than what you just printed out on, and they're recording on the sheet that you printed out. So once again, another great resource. I reached out to several NCS educators to see if they had any digital learning menus or choice boards to share with. And so we had a couple people say, yeah, we have some. And so I went ahead and linked those here. This will lead you to a folder of some different ones. These are some great math ones. And she's still adding on to these. But you'll notice she uses this in centers. I also used digital choice boards for centers as well, and the kids absolutely loved them, whether it was math centers or reading centers, but also for morning work. The kids came in, and it was like they kind of just staggered in at different times, and so I used, you know, for morning work, if kids got finished early with work, there was a what do I do next choice board that I just had different activities on that they could choose. There was a growth mindset choice board that I implemented, and we would have different themes between digital citizenship, growth mindset, innovation, and there were different just types of outlets that the kids could use each month as they got finished with their work. And so anyways, so here's some math choice boards that she said you all would be more than welcome to look at and check out. And then also this one was a little bit of a mix. I think most of it was reading, but you can see once again, this is reading centers. And then we have a factor opinion, and then one on the Most Magnificent Thing, which is an awesome book. And so this one looks a little bit different, which I really like that this one looks a little bit different. It's not so, here's your tic-tac-toe or here's your bingo or whatever it may be. So these can be as complicated as you want them to be, or they can be as simple as you need them to be. So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, as we implement digital choice boards or digital learning menu, you will also want to think of what are your expectations, and talk to your kids about the expectations of them, because it is self-paced learning, and depending on the kids, you will, need to set those expectations up with them. That is one thing that I noticed, that when I started the whole self-paced learning in the classroom, like the kids wanted to say so. So instead of me like trying to figure out what were my expectations, like we did them together for what's the expectation for when I get on Epic? What's the expectation for when I complete the math digital choice board? And we did them together. And then I actually just had the kids one of the kids create a poster that was my digital designer job in my classroom. And then we just printed it out and hung it up in the area that they were in. So, so think about expectations, also about check-ins. Like, if you have your kids do these over a certain amount of time and it is self-paced, you're going to want to make sure that somewhere they're keeping a journal or a reflection or a diary of what they've gotten accomplished each day or each week, just depending on how long your choice board is going to last. So that was something else that I learned the hard way. I just assumed that all kids were going to do all things that I told them to do. So anyways, that was my naive little self. So expectations, creating somewhere where they can kind of get their thoughts out. I never graded those. It was just good for me to kind of check in to see where they were. I did, however, grade the products of whatever they were supposed to be working on. So I have some additional samples that are a little bit more advanced, but I didn't even think I could have linked those there as well. I have my math centers and my reading centers both. So I can link those on there, and you all can have at those, and feel free to use anything, make a copy, edit it as you see fits in your classroom. So let's jump into how to create these. And the nice thing about how to create these is there's really no right or wrong way to create them. And that is another thing that I love about digital choice boards. And so, to begin with, whatever you're comfortable with is what I would probably use. You can share anything out on Google Classroom. So whatever you're comfortable with, whatever Google app you're comfortable with is what I would jump into. So let me get into my folder. All right. So Google Docs, obviously, you'll see a couple of them that use Google Docs. It's a couple of the examples that use Google Docs. You just insert a table. We could do Google Slides, same thing. Each slide could have a different menu. Like if you teach social studies and you're in the Civil War, in a Civil War unit, that could be one slide is your choice board for Civil War. And then your next unit could be another slide for Civil War, or for your next unit in your next choice board. So that, you could set it up that way. You could also, and what I've kind of done, what I did was I actually use Google Drawings. Google Drawings is great for choice boards. It's one page. That's what the presentation resource today is on. So it's just one page, but it acts just like one Google slide. So if you don't really want to connect them anywhere. Also, Google Sites is another way that you could definitely create a choice board. You know, you have to kind of think out of the box on that one. But you could have, if you're an elementary teacher and you teach all the subjects, or you teach 2 of the subjects each, you could have, you know, different pages or whatever on your site that, you know, a math page. And then here's the choice board for place value. Here's the choice board for, and you could put them all in a Google site. So just kind of depends. Whatever you're comfortable with is probably, like I said, what I would start out with, and then go from there. All right, so I'm going to jump into Google Slides because I feel like between Google Docs and Google Slides, I like designing better with Google Slides. It's a lot easier, so I'm going to jump into Google Slides. And we are going to work on creating a choice board, and we'll work on creating a tic-tac-toe one. Also, I've seen a bingo one as well. I mean, obviously it works pretty much the same as the tic-tac-toe one. But anyways, so what's the first thing? Oh, sorry, it drives me bonkers when I don't have a name up there. Okay. So the first thing that I'm going to want to do is, you can leave this if you want to, but I want this to be the first thing that my kids see. So I'm going to go to the layout and I'm going to choose blank because I don't want anything on it, because I want to put everything on it. And then we're going to insert, and we're going to go to table. And depending, if you are doing tic-tac-toe, then you would want to do a 3x3. But if you're doing the bingo one, it's I think it's a 5x5, bingo. Yeah, it is. It takes me a minute, y'all. Maybe it's a 5x6 actually, because you got bingo going across and it's 5 up and down. It's been a long time since I played bingo. But anyways, so for our doing today, we're just going to do this this whole 3x3 ordeal. So once you figure out that you want a 3x3, then you can start plugging in your activities and make it as you would want it to look. So I like my stuff in the center, and then we'll make the font. Let's go Oswald. Oswald's a great font, by the way. Just saying. So maybe we are working on nonfiction. And so what I would like the kids to do is to create a Facebook post of 3 facts. Whoops. And then there is a website that looks like that allows you, and I'm trying to remember, like, why did I choose this one? Here we go. Fake book. I knew, I was like, so anyways, so the kids would have this here, and then here's their 3 interesting facts. And then they could screenshot it if they wanted to, and add it to wherever you have them recording. But what I would want to do as a teacher is I would want to take this URL and copy it. So you could 2-finger click, right click, or hit Control-C and copy it, and then go back to my board and whatever website I want them to use. I'm going to highlight the words, and then I'm going to hit Control-K is link, is the shortcut for link. If you can't remember that, then here's the little link guy right here, and you could click link right there either way, and then click apply, and then there you go. So, and you could put a fake Facebook post of 3 facts. So that's kind of the gist of how you would do this. Another something we could have is looking at the title, share what you think. Oh my, this book is going to be about. And then wherever it says share, you could have a link there to a Padlet or some other type of sharing tool. And Padlet will let you insert a picture. So depending on how advanced, once again, that you want, they could take a picture of their book and share it on the Padlet too, and then have conversation about it. So the big thing about these is that you find you like know what tools are out there. And I know that sometimes that can be super overwhelming, but please reach out and ask if you need some tools. You can always Google it, obviously. And so, but normally I have, or some people in your building will have tools up their sleeves that they can share out. So this is what I would share with the kids. I would probably put a title, obviously. So I'm gonna put a title up here. So non-fiction choice board. And I would decorate it for my elementary kids and so forth, and put some directions on there. But so this is what I would share out. Now, if you're wanting to do a learning menu, then you need to think more along the lines of what is it like when you go to a restaurant. Normally, I see learning menus on major projects like project-based learning. And so, you have your appetizer. What do you want your kids to know? If they're answering a question, give them some choices of where they can answer it at. If you're wanting them to look up something, then giving them opportunities and different resources of where to look. But you would just do that by going, and you could add a text box and name this appetizers, and then list their choices here. So we're going to use bullet, and then let's say we want them to use Kid Rex. Whoops, Kid Rex. So I think this one will actually find itself. So I'm going to hit Control K, and there's Kid Rex. So I hit apply, and you could have directions in there as well, have some cute little artsy things in there. But after your appetizer would be your main course. You could have a drink menu, and then desserts, where they would actually show their like some different ways of their final products that they could use. I did want to show you one website that I like to visit, and a lot of people don't know I like to visit this, so I'm kind of telling you my secret, but it's called Smashboard EDU. And so this is all fabulous. You can read how to work Smashboard, but this is where I like. So there is what's called an awesome table embedded into this website, and you can actually filter. So the majority of us use Chromebooks, so we could click Chromebook, and then what do we want the kids to do? Like, what do we want them to do? Are we wanting them to do audio, be able to code, take photos? Like, what's our purpose in using this tool? So if I click writing, then all of a sudden you will see, and we can even change it to easy if we want to, but you'll see these are all the different tools that you could use on a Chromebook that is all about writing. And this, once again, gives you the choice, gives the kids a choice, and you didn't even really have to do anything. So another kind of cool, fun website to use. So that is called Smashboard EDU. Smashboard EDU. All right. So that's kind of what I wanted to show you, was how to create, like, what learning menus were and what digital choice boards are, and the difference between the two. And so say hi to Brooke. Say hi, Brooke. It's all good. So as we finish up here, remember, if you need anything, please feel free to reach out. We'll see you guys soon.